Potato.
This afternoon, Christmas torn apart by a bureaucratic bungle.
Talking to my grandkids on the border yesterday was the saddest thing I have ever done.
As the police commissioner tries to explain what went wrong.
This is a very unfortunate set of circumstances at a very unfortunate time of the year.
A shocking racist attack leaves an Adelaide Uber driver shaken. A family surprised as a curious koala makes himself at home at Wattle Park. And how the Crows and Power have fared in the 2021 draw.
Live from Adelaide, 7 News with Mark Mooney.
Good afternoon. Authorities have said sorry for a border bungle that's ruined Christmas for scores of South Australian families. Travellers before midnight were wrongly told they'd need to quarantine, and many have been left hundreds of dollars out of pocket. Elise Baker reports there are now calls for compensation.
For many South Australian families, this miscommunication means they won't be able to have the Christmas celebrations they were hoping for. Rosdale hasn't seen her son Brett and his family for a year. They left Sydney on Saturday by road, expecting they'd be able to cross freely into South Australia when they arrived last night, well before the midnight deadline. But when they reached the border, they were told circumstances had changed. They'd need to turn around or face Christmas in quarantine. The second option, just not viable. They had no choice but to go back home.
My grandkids on the border yesterday was the saddest thing I have ever done. They were inconsolable. My daughter-in-law, bless her, absolutely inconsolable.
But it turns out they didn't have to return to Sydney. The wording of a new direction that would see those from the Greater Sydney area have to quarantine from midnight last night was misinterpreted by border checkpoint teams who thought the restrictions would take effect immediately. The confusion causing chaos at Adelaide Airport.
We got told we had to quarantine for 14 days and then we booked flights tomorrow. And then we got told we didn't have to quarantine.
If I knew that this would happen, I would stay at Sydney.
We do apologise to those people who are affected by this particular oversight. We understand the impact it has on families. It was never intended, obviously.
I will also apologise on behalf of the government to any of those people inconvenienced.
Those wrongly turned around can apply for an exemption to come back into SA. The government is also considering compensation for those left out of pocket by the bungle on a case-by-case basis.
The mass confusion surrounding the New South Wales restrictions has seen COVID testing ramp up at clinics right across Adelaide. Deanna Williams joins us from Victoria Park. Queues started forming early there this morning.
Yes, they did, Mark. Cars were lined up all along Wakefield Road. Anyone coming in from New South Wales must get a COVID test on day 1, 5 and 12. And if that means you're due for one on Christmas Day, most drive-through testing stations will be open.
If you wake up sick that morning, do not go to your family Christmas party. The last thing they want as a Christmas present is to get sick with COVID. That's the time you head to your COVID clinic and you get tested. We work Christmas Day. I may be working Christmas Day as well. People in our hospitals work Christmas Day. Many people around the state work Christmas Day. So our testing stations will be operating. Just say Merry Christmas when you go and get your test, please.
I arrived back from Sydney on Saturday night. And I was just having lunch and I read that I need to have a COVID test, even though I wasn't in a hot spot over there.
So opening times for testing stations on Christmas Day will vary, so it's best to check the SA Health website for details. Mark?
Thanks, Dee. New South Wales has recorded 15 new COVID cases overnight, all of them linked to the Northern Beaches cluster. It's good news, with infection rates falling as testing numbers hit record highs. Robert Avadia reports.
Well, I think it's probably fair to say the Premier, Gladys Berejiklian, and health authorities are not exactly popping champagne corks just yet. It is a little too early, but in terms of the news that emerged today, it really is quite encouraging. Testing is continuing right across Sydney with a record 38,000 samples taken yesterday. Now, this is the good news in the outlook for Christmas Day. With so many tests, the expectation may well be the number of COVID cases would rise significantly, and that could could still happen as the results flow in, but the number has halved from the previous 24 hours, only 15 new cases. And in more good news, every single one of them is linked to the one existing cluster at Avalon. Now, the geographical isolation and lockdown of the northern beaches is certainly helping to contain the spread, but health authorities and the Premier were reserved delivering the encouraging results today. They certainly do not want to raise false expectations.
There's no doubt that we're pleased with what we've seen today, but one thing I've learned during the pandemic is that things are very volatile and they can move very quickly.
The key things that we're looking for is whether we've got any evidence of community spread outside the northern beaches.
While the number of tests shows Greater Sydney is taking the threat seriously, there was a rebuke today from the Health Minister for those making the job harder for contact tracing when they check into public venues.
This is a worldwide COVID pandemic, and thinking it's smart to call yourself Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse is about as stupid as it gets.
The patient zero is yet to be located. Consequently, New South Wales Health is struggling to work out precisely how coronavirus travelled from what is presumed to be here at Sydney International Airport to the northern beaches. There will be changes here from tomorrow. International flight crew will have no choice where they quarantine. They will be sequestered in one of the nominated hotels monitored by police, as the government is heavily scrutinised over precisely who is allowed exemption and who is not.
And the Prime Minister has weighed in on the growing COVID cluster in Sydney, saying he understands the disappointment felt by millions of Australians right around the country who've had their Christmas plans disrupted. Here's Taylor Aiken.
Good afternoon. Prime Minister Scott Morrison says he remains confident a COVID cluster on Sydney's northern beaches will be brought under control after a record number of people came forward to get testing. Scott Morrison says he's hopeful New South Wales will soon return to COVID normal as the state looks to be gaining control of the cluster. But as other states slam their borders shut, all to different parts of Greater Sydney, the PM has dismissed claims the National Cabinet has failed to reach a nationally consistent agreement on what constitutes a hotspot.
We have sought to get a national approach to that. The states and territories have chosen that they want to retain their flexibility to set those issues for their individual states and territories. They have the constitutional power to do that. Scott
Morrison confirming a meeting of the National Cabinet has not been scheduled despite the outbreak, but that leaders will continue to monitor the situation, analyse the data and convene a meeting if it is deemed necessary. The timing of the outbreak shattering hopes of having Australia open and families reunited by Christmas.
So as we go into Christmas, while it's frustrating, I know, and while it's disappointing, deeply disappointing, that some of the reunions that might have happened this Christmas for many families won't happen, but they will happen in the new year.
The Prime Minister urging Australians to remain calm and follow the health advice, but to also look out for each other after what has been an incredibly difficult year.
7 News has obtained video of a shocking, racially motivated attack on an Uber driver in the northern suburbs. In an exclusive interview, the victim says the incident has made him feel he's no longer welcome in Australia. Tim Yateman has more.
Fearing for his safety, the Uber driver got out his phone and started filming.
But nothing could have prepared him for this onslaught.
Oh, mate, you push it. Yes. I'll please beat your head in if you... Mate, please don't touch me.
A tirade of abuse from a passenger sitting in the back seat.
If you don't like it, off, mate. Don't live here.
The man and his partner were picked up from Semaphore. Halfway through the trip, the driver says the conversation turned nasty and they suddenly started hurling racial slurs at him. When he pulled over and demanded they get out of the car, the male refused. The driver forced to call police, who spoke to the passenger on the phone.
The police, mate, and you'll get locked up. Alright? Yeah, whatever.
Off, yeah.
Get locked in a cell.
Yeah, off, Ed.
Desperate to get away, the 30-year-old driver ran into a nearby McDonald's, but he was followed.
Come here. You're a idiot.
A scuffle breaks out before an off-duty security guard intervenes. The driver's horrific ordeal finally over.
That's not acceptable. When you get these kind of things, you don't really feel like that you should be in Australia.
Police attended and spoke to both the victim and his passenger, but so far no charges have been laid.
Incredibly, the Uber driver hasn't let this experience put him off. He was back on the road last night, just 24 hours after the shocking incident.
An L-plate motorcyclist suffered multiple broken bones after colliding with a car at Kilkenny. The accident happened on Grey Street near the Arndale Shopping Centre at 9 p.m. last night. The 25-year-old from Woodville North was stabilised at the scene before being taken to hospital. The car driver, a 45-year-old Seaton woman, was reported for failing to give way. Labor claims the state government's broken a promise by increasing rent for public housing. It says some tenants are reporting hikes which add up to more than $100 a year.
These rent increases have come out of the blue. We were told and supported, in fact, the call for a freeze on rent increases throughout the period of the pandemic.
A spokesperson for the minister denies the government's broken any commitments and says the increase is in line with existing policy. The ACCC is taking legal action against activewear retailer Lorna Jane for claiming its clothing offers protection against COVID-19. The company claimed on social media and on labels themselves that the clothing was sprayed with a substance called LJ Shield, which eliminated and stopped the spread of the virus.
Ms Lorna Jane has been named as a personal respondent to these proceedings, and that is on the basis of allegations that she was knowingly involved in these claims.
The case will be heard in the federal court in the new year. Well, the AFL has released the fixture for next season with rounds 1 to 6 locked in. Both Port and the Crows will play one primetime Friday night game each, while the Power take a trip to Perth in round 3.
It's a layout we've never seen before. Rounds 1 to 6 as part of the AFL's first floating fixture to give the league flexibility in its future planning. Port Adelaide missed out on a home game for round 1. They'll head to Marvel Stadium against the battling Roos. Their first home game is against Essendon in round 2, and that's followed by an early season trip to Perth to play the Eagles in round 3. But they have a short turnaround for round 4, which is a prime time Friday night slot against heavyweights Richmond. Rounds 7 to 22 are scheduled but aren't locked into any times. Port will play the Crows twice, with round 8 being the first showdown of the year, followed by round 21.
To have the first 6 rounds now locked in with time slots, we've got a really good mix for our members with some great games at Adelaide Oval.
The Crows will kick off their season at Adelaide Oval, albeit against an already stacked Cats side that includes Jeremy Cameron. They get their chance to impress in round 3 on a Friday night against the Suns at Adelaide Oval. They'll finish the block with a trip to Tasmania in round 6 against the Hawks. So the new fixture will see the AFL return to its original 22-match schedule, with Anzac round capping off the first floating fixture. Andrew Hayes, 7 News.
Ahead on 7's afternoon news, 2 people reported over this shocking case of road rage at Para Hills. Another piece of the jigsaw ready in the South Road upgrade. Europe shuts its doors as a new mutant strain of COVID is detected in the UK. Also, George Pell's tell-all, what the Cardinal believes turned the public against him. And the curious intruder who made himself very comfy in a house at Wattle Park.
Meet the doctor with the gentle touch.
Wake up.
Who has lots of patience and very little patience.
You hear about this? You never think it's going to happen to you.
It's head lice, woman. Next patient.
Doc Martin, tonight on 7-2.
This seems easy enough.
Sign these. Do you have all of this? And you'll also have to jump through that.
Nimble makes finance faster. Get a Nimble personal loan up to $25,000 from 8.99%. Comparison rate from 10.31% per annum. Don't jump through hoops to have the renovation of your dreams. Choose Nimble. Visit nimble.com.au.
Hey, Nina, there's more where that came from. I'm filled with hair, soap and dirt you can't reach.
New Easy Off Drain Turbo Gel's powerful formula quickly powers through tough clogs and eliminates odours. New Easy Off Drain Turbo Gel.
If you can't wait to try the mattress awarded Australia's equal best mattress by Choice, to feel how Emma breathes and adapts to you, start every day with an award-winning wake-up. from only $599. Order your 100-night home trial today at emmasleep.com.au.
Look around. As the favourites come out, it begins. Observing with an eagle eye. Mastering the art of stashing. Brilliant Irv Grant. Cadbury favourites. Everyone gets their favourites.
Hey, Nina, there's more where that came from. I'm filled with hair, soap and dirt you can't reach.
New Easy Off Drain Turbo Gel's powerful formula quickly powers through tough clogs and eliminates odours. New Easy Off Drain Turbo Gel.
Don't let hay fever allergies get in the way of life. Find fast relief with Zyrtec rapid-acting tablets from Chemist Warehouse. No hay fever tablet works faster than Zyrtec. It provides fast, powerful and long-lasting relief from multiple hay fever allergy symptoms such as sneezing, runny nose, itchy and watery eyes, allowing you to get back to life fast. Right now at Chemist Warehouse, Zyrtec rapid-acting tablet 70s is $29.99 plus get $7 cashback. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
This is the Dyson Corral Straightener with manganese copper alloy plates. Invented to flex, shape and gather for enhanced styling. With less damage and even without a cord. Dyson Corral.
Experience the power of fragrance infused with essential oils with Airwick Essential Mist.
Recognised Australia-wide, Barossa Bowland's interactive dinosaur mini-golf is amazing. 18-hole dinosaur mini-golf, 10-pin bowling and... the best pizza in town! Check us out online. Barossa Bowland, 89 Mengi Road, Tanunda.
A man and woman have been reported over a shocking road rage brawl in the middle of a busy northern suburbs road. The development came after 7 News aired this exclusive video of the sickening fist fight. A barrage of punches was thrown before a man was tackled to the ground at Para Hills on Saturday afternoon. Overnight, police arrested a 41-year-old man and a 42-year-old woman from Ingle Farm and reported them for aggravated affray. They will be sent a court summons. Police say a 3-legged dog seen in the video wasn't hurt and they're still seeking the identities of the 3 other men. Work on the Regency Road overpass is nearing a major milestone. Sections of the bridge will be moved into place early next month ahead of its mid-year opening.
If you do get a remote control car for Christmas or something like that, you'll want to see this project happen and unfold. It's going to be that on an enormous scale, and these girders are going to be wheeled out onto South Road, driven down by remote control.
The South Road Regency Road intersection will partially close between January 4 and the 11th as a result. To the UK now, where a mutant strain of COVID has been detected. Countries across Europe have acted swiftly, banning all arrivals from the UK. Hugh Whitfeld reports from London.
Countries across Europe are trying to prevent the spread of this mutated strain of COVID-19 that is tearing through London and the southeast of England. France, the Republic of Ireland, Belgium, the Netherlands, Italy, Austria, Germany, all banning or considering banning travellers from the UK. That means no more flights and in some cases trains to Belgium and road transport even to France is being cancelled. Although it could be too late. The World Health Organisation says this mutation of coronavirus has already been detected in the Netherlands, Denmark and Australia, although it was only 1 case in Australia and we're told it did not spread. But UK government scientists say this strain is 70% more virulent than other strains of COVID-19, and that's why the government here took such drastic action over the weekend, putting London and large parts of the east and southeast of England into a severe lockdown just days out from Christmas, forcing tens of millions of people and many families to cancel festivities.
The new variant is out of control and we need to bring it under control, and this news about the new variant has been an incredibly difficult end to, frankly, an awful year, and it's important for everybody to act essentially act like they might have the virus.
In the hours leading up to the regulations kicking in here, though, there was a rush on the train stations, people trying to get out of the British capital and into other parts of England to be with their families. And the fear is that may cause this mutation to spread to other parts of Britain. Police are now patrolling stations, making sure that people are taking just essential journeys. And unfortunately, visiting family for Christmas is not essential. Nearly 36,000 cases of coronavirus now recorded in Britain in just the last 24 hours. And because of that, we're told London could be facing these severe restrictions for months.
Cardinal Pell claims his conservative Christian views drove public opinion against him. Speaking to BBC Radio, the Cardinal said people were hostile towards him.
My direct style probably contributed, but for my basic Christian positions, I make no apology at all, although I've many times apologised for the crimes committed by church people.
The 79-year-old, whose conviction for child abuse was overturned this year, has just released a book about his ordeal. 5 people have been injured in Portugal after an apartment building partially collapsed. The blast also started a major fire. 2 residents who lived in the building are still missing. Firefighters have been unable to get in due to the risk of a total collapse. A car bomb has killed at least 9 people in Afghanistan. 20 others were injured in the blast in the capital, Kabul. The car bomb detonated as a convoy carrying a member of parliament passed through a busy intersection. The explosion set other cars on fire, as well as damaging nearby shops and buildings. So far, no one has claimed responsibility for the attack. A curious visitor has dropped into an eastern suburbs house unannounced and headed straight for the bar. The surprised residents watched as their furry little guest made itself right at home. Casey Treloar has the exclusive pictures.
The Omani family got quite a surprise when they heard a strange tapping at the back door. Investigations revealed it was a young koala wanting to come inside. First, they thought the furry marsupial they quickly named Audrey was just after a drink of water. But she turned her nose up at that and headed straight to the back door, let herself in and made a beeline for the liquor cabinet.
It's gone to the bar.
The curious koala made herself at home, checking out the new surroundings, even taking a run through the house.
Initially it must have been a pretty smart one, instead of going for the water, going for our beers and Christmas drinks. But yeah, then decided to hang around on the couch and watching telly with us.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I thought it was adorable, and with how cute it was, I reckon she wanted to join the party. We had some music playing.
Then it was some downtime on the family couch.
You spotted the other couch.
After an hour visit, the Omanis decided Audrey had outstayed her welcome and ushered the curious critter back out the door. It didn't take long for the unexpected visitor to return to her natural habitat, racing up this large tree in the front yard.
Well, now let's check in with Hazy on what's coming up in sport.
Thanks, Moons. Well, not a good night for our strikers. They went down by 38 runs to the Sixers. We'll have all the highlights. Also ahead, plenty of selection options for the Aussies as we gear up for the Boxing Day test in Melbourne. And the start of the A-League season is now up in the air due to Sydney's current corona crisis. All that, plenty more on the way. Moons.
Thanks, Hazy. We'll catch you soon. Well, ahead on 7 News, the long-awaited report into Victoria's hotel quarantine scandal made public. Who was to blame? Another COVID vaccine being rolled out across the US, but will it be enough to turn the tide? Plus, the Kung Fu Panda that took on a lowly snowman. That's next.
Start your day in the know.
Main beach swallowed by a king tide.
There's good reason Australia starts the day with sunrise.
Boating, cabin fishing is BCF and fun.
Get excited! The BCF and Chrissy countdown is now on. Set up quick with this 4-person instant up tent. Save $200. Easy as
BCF and fun. Hey!
Experience the power of fragrance infused with essential oils with Airwick Essential Mist.
Sent into hotel quarantine.
This year, don't risk your Christmas gifts not arriving on time. Choose Chemist Warehouse Fast Delivery and have your gifts delivered within 3 hours. Guarantee the joy won't be quarantined this Christmas with fast delivery from Chemist Warehouse.
Everybody loves their country.
Country is a family business, making it right here in SA. Premium quality every day. Curtains, blinds, even zip tracks to create amazing outdoor rooms. So let's make it modern. Let's make it automated. Let's make it easy.
Let's make it for you.
City, suburbs or regions, Country goes everywhere. So call today for a free measure and quote. Is it any wonder?
Everybody loves their country.
Biggest brands, best prices, like reverse cycle roomies from $4.99, inverter splits from only $5.49, or replacement ducted units from just $24.90. Air conditioning, warehouse sales, Salisbury, Richmond and Lonsdale. Airwaresales.com.au.
Do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell?
Give chocolate secretly to someone you love.
Discover better buys with Nintendo at Target. Like Switch console, $429. Super Mario 3D All-Stars and Switch Ring Fit Adventure. Offer ends January 6, no rain checks. Find more better buys in-store and online.
Stadium Rock is back. Guns N' Roses return to Australia. November 9, Adelaide Oval. Tickets on sale now at Ticketek.
Over time, our white clothes become grey. Try Vanish Crystal White with brightening agents to help whites stay white even after 50 washes. Perfect. Vanish Crystal White for whiter whites even after 50 washes.
Need tyres? G'day, Bo here from Bo Repairs. At Bo Repairs, we promise to fit your new tyres in just 30 minutes. And if we don't, you get one free. See? All done. So if you need tyres, get into Bo Repairs. Woof!
Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews has apologised for the bungled hotel quarantine program that caused the state's second wave of coronavirus. It comes as a multi-million-dollar inquiry failed to identify who made the deadly decision to hire private security guards.
Well, after 63 witnesses and a $4.8 million inquiry, the hotel quarantine report has been unable to reveal who made the decision to hire private security guards. The final report from former Judge Jennifer Coates spans 2 volumes and contains more than 500 pages. Amongst all of those is one pivotal sentence that reads, "Ultimately, the evidence did not identify that any one person decided to engage private security in the program."
There are failings, there are mistakes that have been made for which we are deeply sorry.
The report goes on to say that the final decision was fuelled by the influence of former Chief Commissioner Graham Ashton, who made it clear on March 27 that his preference was not to use police, and that preference ended in the hiring of 3 security firms.
We see the Premier saying sorry but not showing that he's sorry. We see the Premier making an apology but not being accountable.
We can't go back, we can't change what occurred. We can only learn those painful, tragic lessons and do everything possible to avoid a third wave.
The second wave, which caused 18,000 new infections and 800 deaths, occurred while former Minister Jenny Mikakos was in charge of the Health Department. She handed in her resignation after Daniel Andrews gave damning evidence to the inquiry. The Premier saying today if she was still in her role, she would have been sacked.
This will be an incredibly difficult week. There will be people missing from the Christmas dinner table on Friday, and I am deeply sorry and saddened by that.
The Premier says the government intends on accepting all of the recommendations made in the report.
Shipments of the second COVID-19 vaccine are on their way to distribution centres across the United States. The Moderna jab will join the Pfizer vaccine in circulation. The eyes of the world are now on the outcome of the program as the US continues to be ravaged by the virus. Tim Lester has more.
In some respects, it is a copy of events just 1 week ago. Moderna's vaccine in the trucks and jets of parcel delivery giants FedEx and UPS, circulating through the transport arteries of the country, just as Pfizer's vaccine has been doing.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. There are now 2 vaccines that are approved. They are incredibly effective and efficacious.
And yet US officials say they plan to distribute almost 3 times as much of the Moderna vaccine in the week ahead than the Pfizer vaccine. 5.9 million doses, boxed with syringes and alcohol wipes, to 3,700 centres across the country.
It's going to be slightly easier to distribute because it doesn't require as low temperature as Pfizer.
I feel that this is my best or most important loads that I've ever hauled in my life.
Among drivers carting the Moderna vaccine, Todd Elbel, the cargo too late for his dad. He died of COVID-19 last month.
I couldn't think of a better honour to do for my father than to do this today.
In these first weeks of America's greatest ever mass vaccination, frontline healthcare workers and aged care residents are receiving the vaccine. Today, the US Centres for Disease Control has advised who should be next. In early 2021, teachers, childcare workers and workers in supermarkets, prisons and meat packing facilities will be highlighted for an early vaccination. The CDC argues these roles are critical in keeping society functioning and cannot be done remotely.
2 climate change protesters dressed as a polar bear and Mrs Claus have been arrested in Perth. A busy city street was blocked off for the Extinction Rebellion rally, causing commuter chaos. Brittany Hoskins has more.
The protest was short and sharp, disrupting morning traffic for around 15 minutes before police intervened and moved protesters. Calling for change and causing chaos in the city, protesters part of Extinction Rebellion blocked busy Hay Street.
We'll have to arrest you, okay, for continuation of difference. Okay, that's all right.
This is more important than being arrested.
With blocks of ice and one demand, a citizens' assembly to address climate change.
If there's anything that's clear to us, it's that the political system doesn't work. You know, I had 8 years in Parliament, and I know that they are not listening when it comes to stopping the destruction that's occurring here in Western Australia.
Police pounced on a protesting polar bear who wasn't quite ready to give up the good fight. Mrs Claus was next.
This is an emergency. I've been sent by the North Pole. My father Christmas himself. Everything's melting. Everything's dying.
Being arrested, a price protesters are more than willing to pay.
Here in Western Australia, you're going to see more and more people arrested as long as the government doesn't listen.
A real-life Kung Fu panda has shown off his impressive skills at Moscow Zoo. The panda took on a snowman, which keepers had decorated with bamboo and carrots. Delicious. He made light work of his opponent, devouring the greenery, and didn't let up until the meal was finished. A well-earned feed. Well, still to come on 7's afternoon news, Britain records its biggest number of daily COVID cases amid fears a new strain is out of control. Looking for some extra cash this summer? How to make money renting out what you already own. Plus the new ride at SeaWorld, which is definitely not for the faint-hearted.
And I had a dream that someday I would just fly, fly away, away, oh.
Escape into a new year with Home and Away on 7.
The Good Guys Big Deal Days are on now. 21% off this front load washer. 22% off this 65-inch TV. This microwave $249. This Yamaha soundbar only $399. Plus 1 hour click and collect just in time for Christmas. Only at The Good Guys.
Christmas is a time for giving, and the best golfing gifts are on sale at Golfbox. Clubs, balls, bags, shoes and clothing, gift cards too. Everything for the golfer in your life with free delivery Australia-wide. Shop online at golfbox.com.au this Christmas and save.
You wash loads, but do you ever wash your washing machine? Every load leaves behind grime and, what's that smell? Pino Clean Washing Machine Cleaner removes 99.9% of germs, leaving it clean and fresh for longer. It's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
The Saucy McRib and legendary El Maco are back at Macca's. Delicious pork dripping in smoky barbecue rib sauce and juicy beef with chunky Mexican salsa. Wherever summer takes you, we'll be here.
The Emma mattress, awarded Australia's equal best mattress by choice. Order your 100-night home trial today at emmasleep.com.au.
Solar rebates are set to reduce on December 31, so before prices might rise, secure your maximum rebate with Arise Solar's best-selling 6.6 kilowatt Tier 1 system. Price only assured to December 31, so call 1-800-ARISE Solar today.
These are the new 5G Google Pixels with night sight in portrait mode, a superhero-level security chip and all-day battery. But to anyone who wants all that tech but doesn't want to pay too much for a phone, it's the nice price surpriser. The 5G Google Pixels from $7.99.
What does Christmas mean to you?
Let me show you.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to...
You're starting to believe in magic, aren't you?
Season streamings on Disney+.
7 News is uniquely Adelaide. Homemade news, made in Adelaide, every hour of every day. Your 7 News.
Now recapping our top stories, authorities have apologised for the border bungle that's ruined Christmas for scores of South Australian families. The mass confusion surrounding the New South Wales restrictions has seen COVID testing ramp up at clinics right across the city. And an Adelaide Uber driver has been left shaken after copping a racist tirade from a passenger. The entire ordeal caught on camera. Returning to the growing crisis in the UK, and the British Health Secretary has warned the new coronavirus variant is out of control as the nation records its biggest ever daily rise in infections. Many countries have now banned flights from the UK to stop the new strain from spreading.
Only 4 days till Christmas, and this morning England was counting down and queuing up. Of all the plans we'd made, this was surely not one of them. Thousands joining long lines for groceries. They'll now eat alone.
It's really sad that Christmas isn't going to be like normal. I had to call my mum yesterday and say it's not going to be as we might have hoped.
But the Prime Minister said on Wednesday it would be inhuman to cancel Christmas. Surely what's even more inhuman is then cancelling it 3 days later.
Well, when we got the new scientific evidence on Friday afternoon, we just had to act. We've all got to dig deep again.
They are digging deepest in the south, where London's streets are silent, and in Wales, where the bridges are bare. 21 million people waking up to top-tier restrictions, which we were warned today could last till spring, as Labour accused the government of once again leaving it all too late.
Yet again, the Prime Minister waited until the 11th hour to take this decision. It was blatantly obvious last week that the Prime Minister's plan for a free-for-all over Christmas was a risk too far.
It is a risk other countries won't take. Flights to many are now grounded as governments ban travellers from the UK. The fear that a new variant of COVID will arrive with them, blamed for cases rapidly rising here. Tonight in London, there's a rush for what might be the last trains to the continent too.
I should have been back in France on the 26th, and this morning I woke up to all this news and yeah, I moved my ticket to today.
For me, I think that being alone on Christmas Day is more of a negative than travelling under these circumstances. I would rather take the risk.
So while we've seen our streets empty before, tonight Britain feels all the more alone.
If you're looking for an easy way to make extra money, the answer might be right in front of you. More and more Aussies are renting out their possessions for a tidy sum. Consumer correspondent Sean White has more.
If you're looking to make some extra cash, start by looking in your own backyard. That's exactly what these 3 Aussies did, and they're making a small fortune every year. Well, first up, Lisa Hodgkins, who is earning money through self-storage marketplace Spacer.
Spacer works by renting out space that we've got that we're not using. For example, we have a storage cage, and it's a really easy process to rent it out to people that need storage in the area.
Well, the platform allows hosts to earn around $150 per month with a small storage cage, and up to around $700 per month with a room or a space the size of a double garage. Lisa makes around $2,000 a year.
For us, it was a no-brainer to just let other people use the space, and a little bit of extra income for us, especially this time of year.
Well, Hem and Benny uses Swimply, which is basically the Airbnb of swimming pools. The service lets homeowners hire out their pool to those who don't have one. Swimmers are able to access a dip in the pool for an hourly fee.
For the past few weeks, I would say somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000. And I have a few bookings already for the next few weeks until, the summer.
Switching gears and renting out your car is a lucrative industry. In fact, some of the top earners are raking in thousands each year.
I started using Car Next Door when I realised my car was sitting in my garage 80% of the time, and I looked at selling it and I was going to lose money. I found Car Next Door and basically started making money with my car instead.
Well, 33-year-old Chelsea Glanville now earns on average $900 a month just by renting out her Volkswagen Golf. It's pretty easy money when you consider it would have been sitting in the garage anyway.
I've made around $8,000 over the last 12 months, which covers all the running costs, plus a little bit extra to spend.
You still need to tick a few boxes to qualify, which includes things like having a roadworthy car that has good availability and is accessible in a location where the service is operating. Before signing up to any app or share platform, always do your research.
Well, if you're planning to head to Queensland over summer, a new thrill ride has just opened up on the Gold Coast. Mitchell Crone went to check out the Vortex at SeaWorld. Take a look.
Well, the Vortex ride isn't for the faint-hearted. The new attraction sending riders twisting and turning 18 metres above sea level. The launch marks a major turnaround for the park, which at one point was forced to close.
After the year we've had to see new infrastructure being launched here at SeaWorld, as I said, the rebirth of SeaWorld, it's just so wonderful for all our staff, all our guests.
It is with pride to see this wonderful ride has come to fruition.
And it was an immediate hit.
Very exciting and something that I'll cherish forever.
However, SeaWorld boss Clark Kirby admits Queensland's closure to Greater Sydney will hurt the park's planned rebound.
Absolutely it will. We entertain a lot of guests from that New South Wales region, but fortunately we do have still the other states coming here.
And 2 more rides will be awaiting them in 2021.
We're well underway. Obviously the Vortex is the first part of the new Atlantis. We will be opening the Leviathan and the Trident.
SeaWorld hopes to have all 3 rides of the Atlantis precinct open by mid-next year.
Nah, Hazy, I reckon I'll leave that one for you, mate.
Absolutely, and a bit like you're driving, just all over the place. Nightmare.
Thank you for that. Mate, time for sport now. A tough night for the Strikers.
Yeah, it really was. It wasn't good to watch if you're a Strikers fan, but if you're a cricket fan in general, Dan Christian absolutely turned it on. We'll have all the highlights of that coming up. We'll also have the latest selection news for the Aussies and India ahead of the Boxing Day test and the start of the A-League season, now in doubt due to Sydney's coronavirus cluster.
Have a Merry Chrissy from all of us here at 7.
Irresistibly smooth chocolate to put the world on pause. Lindor, made to melt you by the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
This year we were searching for something, not far away from home, but far away from our daily routine. What we found was an amazing place, space to have fun and privacy, time to recharge our batteries, The moments that make Australia.
Find more than you're searching for. Trivago. Compare accommodation offers from the leading brands worldwide and find the right deal for you. Hotel, holiday home, family time. Trivago.
Guess who's back? But you never left. Yes, I did. I rose from the dead. And now I'm here to slay them with flows and some punchlines that'll go over your head. Drop, turn back, I'm a caution in red. I'm your worst nightmare, stood over your sled. So them girl try con me, but I smell defeat like a hole in your threads. Wow, she's sick and she's bad. She sings and she raps, she's crinkle and wow.
Go full Christmas with a feast for less. Aldi. Good. Different.
What does Christmas mean to you?
Let me show you.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to
You're starting to believe in magic, aren't you?
Season streamings on Disney+.
Need tyres? G'day, Bo here from Bo Repairs. At Bo Repairs, we promise to fit your new tyres in just 30 minutes. And if we don't, you get one free. See? All done. So if you need tyres, get into Bo Repairs. Woof!
Santa's dropping in early with all your favourite carols and stars. Woolworths Carols in the Domain, Wednesday on 7.
Hello again, and Australia is looking like naming an unchanged lineup for the Boxing Day test after Will Pukowski was ruled out of the marquee clash. Dave Warner is already in Melbourne, but his status is uncertain. A gruelling fitness session was the Aussies' reward for the early first test victory. A relieved Joe Burns goes onto the MCG feeling secure and says India can expect more pain next week.
We're the best team in the world, so we're very confident against everyone in every venue. Our bowlers are unbelievable. So I think they bowled really well in the first innings and didn't get the rewards, and then in the second innings they just nicked everything.
India have lost key paceman Mohammad Shami with a broken arm. Well, in the Big Bash, the strikers went down to the Sixers by 38 runs in Hobart. Dan Christian was the star, belting 50 from just 15 balls for the second fastest BBL half-century of all time.
The strikers made a decent start through Worrell.
Has he got something on that? Yes, he has.
It felt like things were going their way.
One more wicket here would be lovely.
And the very next ball, Worrell claimed his second scalp and the strikers were in control.
Yeah, and there is another wicket.
Khan claimed his first, but maybe it would have been better if he didn't, because that brought Christian to the crease.
Has been treated to a Dan Christian special. Oh, he likes that too. He's gone again. He's hammered that.
He put together the second fastest 50 in BBL history off just 15 balls. Jason Holder looked good, hitting a 6 off his first ball, which ended up getting stuck in a tree, and the Sixers set the strikers 178 to win. Salt looked good.
Oh, Phil Salt has hammered that.
But he couldn't make the most of his good start, and Weatherald was the same. The strikers couldn't quite take control in the run chase, eventually falling short by 38 runs, and Khan will be closely monitored after copping a nasty one on the toe. Next up, they play the Heat in Brisbane on Wednesday.
To footy now, and as you saw earlier, the AFL has released the first floating fixture for next season. With dates and times for rounds 1 to 6 now locked, Port Adelaide will start its season in Melbourne against the Roos before a home clash against the Bombers in round 2. They'll play Richmond in the prime-time Friday night spot, but that's after a road trip and a short turnaround against the Eagles in round 3. The Crows will get first crack at Adelaide Oval against the Cats in round 1 and will get a Friday night game against the Suns in round 3. Well, Sydney's COVID situation has led to the cancellation of the A-League season launch tonight, potentially throwing the entire season into disarray. Scheduled to begin on Sunday between the Western Sydney Wanderers and newcomers Macarthur FC, multiple matches are now in serious doubt as several states close their borders to New South Wales. There's three Sydney-based teams, the Wanderers, Sydney FC and Macarthur, plus the Central Coast Mariners. They're all affected. Well, Tottenham have been dealt a serious blow to their Premier League title hopes after a 2-0 loss to Leicester City moved them down to 5th place on the leaderboard. Jamie Vardy helped the Foxes gain the lead with a penalty goal just before half-time and then set up this goal just shy of the hour mark.
Aimed in towards Jamie Vardy and it's bounced in off Alderweireld.
And midfielder Scott McTominay made history after scoring twice in the first 3 minutes of Manchester United's 6-2 thumping of Leeds United. Well, it's been a history-making day at surfing's spiritual home, with the women competing at the Bonsai Pipeline for the first time. Aussie stars Tyler Wright and Sally Fitzgibbons showed no fear in their relocated Maori Pro semi-final.
Oh, she just lobster dives right there.
Wright went on to defeat Hawaii's Carissa Moore with 30 seconds to go in the final, another trophy to add to her 2 world titles. 48-year-old Kelly Slater reached his 10th semi out of 13 in the current format, but John Florence, who's done everything else in surfing, finally became a pipe master in his boyhood backyard. One of the great names in world sport, John Florence. Just on the strikers as well at Moons. It's been a bit of a rough start to their BBL campaign.
Has.
I just feel like they can come good.
I hope you're right. Dan Christian just keeps getting better with age.
Unbelievable. He could not do anything else but middle it last night.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
Unbelievable.
Thanks, Hazy. Well, stay with us. Still to come on 7 News, some extra Christmas cheer for one of the world's most famous buildings. And looking fine and warmer as we head towards Christmas Day. The weather details are next.
We're convinced that Ivan Milat is responsible for many other crimes, and we're going to prove it.
Her body was left right here in this pine forest, his very first murder victim.
They're brought to a place where nobody would hear them scream.
What we've uncovered will make world headlines.
This will change everything we thought we knew about Milat. Did he act alone?
This is going to shock
many more murders.
7 News Spotlight presents Ivan Milat, Buried Secrets. New in 2021 on 7.
This year we were searching for something, not far away from home, but far away from our daily routine. What we found was an amazing place, space to have fun and privacy, time to recharge our batteries, the moments that make Australia.
Find more than you're searching for. Trivago. Compare accommodation offers from the leading brands worldwide and find the right deal for you. Hotel, holiday home, family time. Trivago.
Times have been tough on small business, so Visa wants to help connect consumers with small businesses that need your support. It's called Where You Shop Matters, and it's about making a conscious decision, because where you shop can make a real difference.
South Australians are now required to check in at businesses, venues and events to help stop the spread of COVID-19. Download the free MySA Gov app, select COVID Safe Check-in, then scan the QR code at the location. Visit sa.gov.au/check-in.
San Remo pasta has been loved by Aussie families since 1936. While a lot has changed since then, we remain a 100% Australian family-owned business. San Remo, we're family.
What does Christmas mean to you?
Let me show you.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to
You're starting to believe in magic, aren't you?
Season streamings on Disney+.
To create our beers, we rely on the best ingredients and tools.
Same goes for our beards. The power of this wall trimmer allows that. Lithium-ion power in a trimmer, that's insane.
When it's in my hand cutting, I know I'm using the best that's out there.
Available only at Shaver Shop.
The Emma mattress, awarded Australia's equal best mattress by Choice. Order your 100-night home trial today at emmasleep.com.au.
Over time, our white clothes become grey. Try Vanish Crystal White with brightening agents to help whites stay white even after 50 washes. Perfect. Vanish Crystal White for whiter whites even after 50 washes.
Elton John, Bruce Springsteen and Rod Stewart all performed at which landmark? The 12 Apostles, Hanging Rock, Cradle Mountain.
The Chase, weekdays on 7.
7 News is uniquely Adelaide. Always has been, always will be. Like you, we live and work here. Homemade news, made in Adelaide every hour of every day. Live and local at 4 and 6. Adelaide's most watched news service is your 7 News.
Good afternoon, Tim Adderwell here with your latest traffic update. Slow going around Pasadena at Dawes Road, Goodwood Road at the Springbank Road Junction. Upgrades keeping it very busy here. To Sterling on the freeway, it's quite busy between Sterling and Cravers for ongoing works, and in Darlington on the Southern Expressway at the lowered section. Speed restrictions are in place through here. Need new tyres fast? Bo from Bo Repairs has you covered. Get fitted in 30 minutes or get a free tyre. Visit borepairs.com.au. Selected stores only. T's and C's apply.
Thanks, Tim. Well, New York's Empire State Building has taken centre stage in the city that never sleeps with a spectacular Christmas light show. The flashing lights illuminated the Art Deco building from the 72nd floor all the way to the tip of the antenna on the 102nd floor. It will be lit up every night until Christmas. To the weather now. We woke to showers early this morning, but it cleared to a mainly fine afternoon. Our top was a mild 21.3 degrees at 3:30 this afternoon after an overnight low of 16.3. Highest falls were at Mount Gambier with 12 mils and Cayenne Cutter received 11 mils. And in the city, Adelaide Airport recorded 3 mils. Temperatures were mostly below average today, ranging from 26 at Cooper Pedy down to a very chilly 14 at Mount Gambier and Narracourt. To the charts, there's a large area of cloud and thunderstorms extending across the top end, down to eastern South Australia and across to the east coast, with heavy falls expected for Melbourne. And the high pressure system will move across the Bight on Wednesday, bringing us fine and sunny conditions midweek. Interstate tomorrow, hot and sunny for Perth, showers for Brisbane, Sydney and Canberra, and up to 40 mils from Melbourne, and rain for Hobart too. Back home, mild and mostly sunny in the north with temps in the mid-20s, 25 for Woomera and 23 for Port Augusta. And it'll be partly cloudy with a chance of a shower or two in the southeast, 22 for Ceduna, 21 for Port Lincoln and Victor Harbour and 23 for Murray Bridge. On local waters, southwesterlies 15 to 20 knots, easing to 10 to 15 knots around sunrise before freshening again in the afternoon, with seas rising to 1.5 metres. In the city tomorrow, partly cloudy and 23 degrees after an overnight low of 13, then slowly warming up each day to a sunny 29 for Christmas Day. Even warmer for Boxing Day, 34 degrees, partly cloudy, 29 for Sunday, and back to a mild 23 degrees for this time next week. And that is all from the afternoon news team. Hope you can join me for our main bulletin at 6 o'clock. Bye for now.